Thank you for joining us. We just have a couple questions that we want to ask. First question, what drove you to seek a program like Project Come Up?
Serendipitously, I found an email in my inbox that would be interested in mentoring Black and Brown students in financial literacy and just help them shape their career paths out of high school. So I was immediately like, yes, sign me up. How can I become a part of this?
So I was pretty privileged when it came to understanding that financial literacy was important, and also just to share that knowledge amongst friends and also other people that didn't have the opportunity to learn as much as I did when I was younger.
I think financial literacy is a very big, important driver of wealth and change. When I worked at my last company, community service hours, and what we would do is we would go in fourth and fifth grade classes, teach a financial literacy curriculum, and the kids loved it. I really enjoyed doing it, and I figured transitioning it towards an older group of individuals really starting to make their way in their professional lives, I think that could have a lot more meaningful impact. Really excited to get behind it and share my knowledge with other folks who may not have had that baseline.
Well, I am one of these lucky people that grew up with parents that were good with money. So I learned this stuff at home. So I recognize that there's a big gap in our education system. If you didn't have the privilege to learn personal finance from your parents, there's not really a formal channel. So for me, getting involved with PCU was one small way I can help close that gap.
How did your relationship with your mentees start? How did it go? And how is it now?
It was very clear by the time that we were matched and we had our first conversation, we already were aligned on what we were getting out of this. I think the goals were very clear from the get-go.
So at the beginning, we just hopped on the phone, chatted, learned about each other on a personal level. We wanted it to be a relationship that we can go to each other, whether it be personal questions, professional questions. I wanted it to be an open book and something that he can come to me for with anything that he needed.
It certainly started a little bit rocky. He had some issues with the technology. Once we just decided to just email one another, it became a lot easier. We stopped missing messages and whatnot. We had a really good rapport back and forth. Kazito was very on his game. He was looking for real information on the equity markets, literacy, which is great because it allowed me to, stretch a little bit as well.
Good, I would say we definitely have a connection. I think we hit it off pretty immediately, and we actually are trying to organize meeting up in person at some point soon.
Would you recommend Project Come Up to a friend, coworker, or colleague?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Absolutely.
I really think it was very rewarding. Again,
just knowing that the mission of the organization is so strong, it's hard to say no.
Had a really good time doing it.
It's personally rewarding.
Why wouldn't you want to be a part of something so awesome like this?
You're helping society.
I thoroughly enjoyed, would absolutely love to do this again.
It was a great program overall, and it's definitely something that I would recommend to friends and colleagues.
Would absolutely recommend it to family, friends, whomever.
I guess this was one of the silver linings that came out of the COVID-19 pandemic, so definitely recommend.